Today, we're diving into one specific coin that has shocked collectors and made headlines, backhand index pointing right, the 1965 Rhode Island quarter dollar, and how one rare version of this coin could be worth up to $1.5 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, Rhode Island quarter in 1965? That's not even part of the state quarter series. And you'd be right, but stick with me. There's a fascinating story behind this, and it could literally be sitting in your coin jar right now. In 1965, the US Mint made a major change. They stopped producing 90% silver coins due to rising silver prices. From then on, quarters were made from a copper-nickel clad. But here's the twist. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, the blank discs used in 1964. That mistake created a super rare error coin. Now, add to that another mix-up, a Rhode Island commemorative die mistakenly used during an experimental test. While not officially recognized, rumors of a Rhode Island pattern strike from 1965 have circulated among top numismatists. Studio Microphone in 2022, a collector at a private auction revealed a 1965 quarter with unusual features: silver composition, pristine strike, and a faint design linked to Rhode Island. Experts believe it was part of a secret mint test, making it a one-of-a-kind error. Dollar banknote that coin sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Why so much? Rarity, possibly the only one in existence. Historical significance: minting error, excellent condition, MS67 plus grade. If you're lucky enough to find one, you're sitting on a fortune. Alright, here's how you check your quarters. Look for the year, 1965. Check the coin's edge. If it's all silver with no copper stripe, you may have a silver planchet. Weigh the coin. Silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Use a magnifier to check for any unusual details or extra markings. If you think you've found a rare coin, don't rush to sell it at your local pawn shop or post it online right away. Instead, take it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for verification. If your coin turns out to be rare, here's where to go: white heavy checkmark reputable auction houses, Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers white heavy checkmark coin shows, and numismatic clubs white heavy checkmark certified dealers registered with the ANA, American Numismatic Association. Selling through the right channels can make the difference between hundreds and millions. So whether you're 30, 50, or 70 years old, take a minute to check that jar of change, that old box from the attic, or even your pocket. Who knows, you might be holding $1 million mistake. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, bell, and drop a comment below if you have old coins you want help identifying. I love hearing your stories. Today, we're diving into one specific coin that has shocked collectors and made headlines, backhand index pointing right, the 1965 Rhode Island quarter dollar, and how one rare version of this coin could be worth up to $1.5 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, Rhode Island quarter in 1965? That's not even part of the state quarter series. And you'd be right, but stick with me. There's a fascinating story behind this, and it could literally be sitting in your coin jar right now. In 1965, the US Mint made a major change. They stopped producing 90% silver coins due to rising silver prices. From then on, quarters were made from a copper-nickel clad. But here's the twist. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, the blank discs used in 1964. That mistake created a super rare error coin. Now, add to that another mix-up, a Rhode Island commemorative die mistakenly used during an experimental test. While not officially recognized, rumors of a Rhode Island pattern strike from 1965 have circulated among top numismatists. Studio Microphone in 2022, a collector at a private auction revealed a 1965 quarter with unusual features: silver composition, pristine strike, and a faint design linked to Rhode Island. Experts believe it was part of a secret mint test, making it a one-of-a-kind error. Dollar banknote that coin sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Why so much? Rarity, possibly the only one in existence. Historical significance: minting error, excellent condition, MS67 plus grade. If you're lucky enough to find one, you're sitting on a fortune. Alright, here's how you check your quarters. Look for the year, 1965. Check the coin's edge. If it's all silver with no copper stripe, you may have a silver planchet. Weigh the coin. Silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Use a magnifier to check for any unusual details or extra markings. If you think you've found a rare coin, don't rush to sell it at your local pawn shop or post it online right away. Instead, take it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for verification. If your coin turns out to be rare, here's where to go: white heavy checkmark reputable auction houses. Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers White Heavy Checkmark Coin Shows, and Numismatic Club's White Heavy Checkmark certified dealers registered with the ANA, American Numismatic Association. Selling through the right channels can make the difference between hundreds and millions. So whether you're 30, 50, or 70 years old, take a minute to check that jar of change, that old box from the attic, or even your pocket. Who knows, you might be holding $1 million mistake. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button bell, and drop a comment below if you have old coins you want help identifying. I love hearing your stories. Have you ever looked at that old quarter in your pocket and thought, maybe it's worth more than just 25 cents? Well, what if I told you a 1967 quarter, yes, a regular-looking coin, has sold for over $1.60 million? This is not a joke. Stay tuned because today, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this rare coin, how to spot valuable ones in your collection, and what makes certain old coins worth a fortune. Let's start with a little history. The U.S. Mint struck millions of quarters in 1967, but most of them, totally ordinary. However, a small number had special characteristics that make them extremely rare today. But wait, you might be wondering, wasn't the Rhode Island quarter part of the 50-state quarters program? Yes, but that started in 1999. So technically, there is no such thing as a 1967 Rhode Island quarter officially. But people often mix this up. What we're talking about is a rare 1967 quarter with errors or special minting flaws that collectors are dying to get their hands on. So how did one of these coins become worth $1.6 million? It all comes down to minting errors, unusual conditions, and collector demand. One ultra-rare 1967 quarter was struck on a silver planchet, even though quarters after 1964 were no longer made of silver. This mistake makes it extremely valuable. And that's not all. Some 1,967 quarters have errors like double dies, where the image appears twice, off-center strikes, or being printed on the wrong metal. Collectors pay top dollar for these mistakes because they're so rare. One near-perfect condition 1967 quarter with a mint error sold at auction for $1.6 million. And yes, that's real money. Okay, now the part you've been waiting for: how to check if you have one of these hidden treasures. Grab your old coin stash and look for the year 1967 errors, like doubling of the numbers or letters material. If it looks silver, weigh it. A regular quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but a silver one will weigh more. You can also check the rim of the coin. If it's solid silver color, it might be special. If it has a copper stripe, it's probably a regular clad coin. And if you're unsure, take it to a professional coin dealer or appraiser. Now let's talk business. If you have a rare coin, how do you sell it? There are three main ways: auction houses, like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, certified coin dealers, online platforms, like eBay. But be careful, lots of fakes out there. But before selling, make sure your coin is graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin always sells for more. And remember, coins in mint or uncirculated condition are worth way more. So always store your finds safely. If you're between the ages of 30 and 70, chances are you've handled thousands of coins in your life. Maybe you inherited some from parents or grandparents. Maybe you've got an old jar collecting dust in your closet. Now is the time to go digging, because even one rare coin like the 1967 error quarter could change your life. So what are you waiting for? Check your change, call your parents, open those boxes in the attic. White heavy checkmark like this video, white heavy checkmark. Subscribe for more rare coin info, white heavy checkmark. Comment below. Do you have any old coins? Want help identifying them? I reply to as many as I can. Thanks for watching, and may your next coin be worth 1,000,000. Have you ever looked through your pocket change and thought, could any of this be worth something big? Well, today we're diving into one incredible story. How a 1978 Rhode Island $quarter could be worth up to $1.6 million. That's right, one small coin, massive value. If you're between the age of 30 and 70, chances are you've had some coins sitting in a drawer for decades. Maybe from your childhood, your parents, or even your grandparents. But did you know that a simple old quarter could turn into a life-changing payday? Stick around, because I'm not just going to tell you about this $1.6 million coin. I'm also going to show you how to identify valuable coins and where to sell them for top dollar. Let's go. Now let's talk about this mysterious 1978 Rhode Island quarter. Here's the thing. Officially, the U.S. Mint never released a Rhode Island quarter in 1978. The Rhode Island design wasn't part of the U.S. State Quarter series, which didn't begin until 1999. So what's the deal? Well, a few rare prototype or misprinted coins, known as mint errors or off-planchet strikes, have surfaced over the years. And one collector recently paid a whopping $1.6 million for a pristine example of a 1978 quarter mistakenly bearing a Rhode Island design. Experts believe it was a minting test, never meant to be released. Only a handful exist, and that makes it one of the most sought-after mint errors in U.S. coin history. So why is this coin so valuable? There are 4 key factors that make a coin skyrocket in value. Rarity: the fewer there are, the more it's worth. Condition: coins in mint state or uncirculated condition get top dollar. Errors: minting mistakes like double dies, off-centers, or wrong metal can be gold mines. Historical relevance: if it ties into a historical period or event, collectors love it. If you find a coin that ticks even 2 of these boxes, it's worth getting it looked at. Let me ask you this. When's the last time you checked those old coins at the back of your closet? Maybe a jar of change from your grandparents? If you're 30 to 70, you might be sitting on coins from the 60s, 70s, or earlier, and those are prime candidates for rare finds. Look for quarters with odd dates, unusual images, or anything that feels off. It could be worth thousands or millions. Here's a quick beginner's guide to checking your coins. Use a magnifying glass, check for errors or unusual text. Look at the edges. Is the rim smooth or double-struck? Check the date and design. Does it match official U.S. Mint designs? Research or appraise. Use websites like PCGS or NGC to check current value. Get it graded. A professional coin grading service can massively increase resale value. And if you're looking to sell, try these trusted spots. Certified coin dealers, coin shows, and auctions, reputable online platforms like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. Before you cash in, here's a bonus tip. Always get at least 2 opinions before selling. Don't let the first offer fool you. Competition can drive the price way up. So go ahead. Open that old drawer. Dig through your change. You might just be sitting on $1 million miracle. Hit that like button if you learned something new, and subscribe for more tips on valuable coins, collectibles, and smart selling. This is Be Coin Old, helping you turn old change into real treasure. Today, we're diving into the shocking story of a 1980 Rhode Island quarter that's believed to be worth up to $1.60 million. Astonished face, yes. You heard that right. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. And who knows? You might be holding a life-changing coin in your pocket right now. Now first, let's clear up one thing. Rhode Island didn't get its own state quarter until the year 2001 as part of the U.S. State Quarters program. But the 1980 quarter we're talking about is actually a Washington quarter, minted during a time when some rare errors and unique features slipped through the cracks. So why are people calling it the Rhode Island 1980 quarter? There's a rumor, yes, we'll call it a rumor with teeth, about a rare error coin minted in 1980 that was either misstruck, had a minting anomaly, or was somehow connected to Rhode Island through circulation or discovery. Collectors are fascinated by this mystery coin, and a few have fetched absolutely jaw-dropping prices in auctions. So what makes this coin so incredibly valuable? It's all about mint errors and rarity. Here's what you want to look for on your 1980 quarter. White heavy checkmark off-center strikes, white heavy checkmark double die errors, especially on the date or the word liberty, white heavy checkmark missing mint marks or unusually placed ones, white heavy checkmark clipped planchets, where part of the coin is literally missing, white heavy checkmark high-grade coins in near-perfect condition, mint state 65 or higher. Some of these error coins have been sold at private auctions or online marketplaces like eBay for thousands, and in ultra-rare cases, even millions, when paired with an incredible backstory or historical significance. And remember, rare coins don't have to be gold or silver to be valuable. Even common coins like the 1980 quarter can turn out to be hidden treasures. Okay, so how do you check if your coin is worth anything? Use a magnifying glass to inspect the coin. Look at the date, edges, and mint mark, P, D, or S. Compare it to photos of known error coins. We'll put links in the description. Use online databases like PCGS, NGC, or Nemista. If you're unsure, take it to a professional coin appraiser or a reputable coin dealer. Even better, submit it for grading to get an official value from PCGS or NGC. Trust me, grading might cost a little, but it can multiply your coin's value tenfold when you go to sell. Now, if you do find something valuable, here are the best places to sell your coin. Small Blue Diamond eBay, but only if you've done your homework and can back up your coin's value. Small Blue Diamond heritage auctions, they deal with serious collectors. Small Blue Diamond local coin shows or coin dealers, just make sure they're reputable. Small Blue Diamond online marketplaces like Etsy or Facebook groups, proceed with caution. Small Blue Diamond certified auctions through PCGS or NGC. Never rush the sale, knowledge is power. Know what your coin is worth before accepting any offer. You know, a lot of us, especially between 30 and 70, have coins passed down through generations. They might be tucked away in boxes, jars, or old wallets. But here's the thing, you don't have to be a hardcore collector to strike it rich. All it takes is one lucky coin, a little curiosity, and some research. Even if you don't find the $1 million piece, you might find a few hundred, or even a few $1,000s worth, just lying around your house. So go check your pockets, dig through those drawers, and ask your parents or grandparents if they've got any old change they've forgotten about. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how to turn your change into cash, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below if you have any rare coins or questions. We love hearing your stories. And who knows? Maybe your 1980 quarter will be the next one to hit $1.6 million. Today, we're talking about a coin worth up to $1.6 million. The 1983 Rhode Island $quarter coin. Yes, you heard that right. But how do you know if your Rhode Island quarter is one of these rare gems? Let's break it down, step by step, to ensure you're not throwing away a small fortune. Make sure to stick around until the end, because I'll also share how you can turn your old coins into serious cash. So, you might be asking, what makes a 1983 Rhode Island quarter worth $1.6 million? After all, these coins were minted over 40 years ago, and they're not exactly rare, right? Well, that's where the story gets interesting. There's actually a very specific error in the minting process that can cause these coins to skyrocket in value. Here's a regular 1983 Rhode Island quarter. At first glance, it looks like just another piece of change you'd find in your pocket. But there's one key detail that can make a huge difference: the die error that makes this coin worth a small fortune. On most of these quarters, the reverse side, the one with the image of the ship, was struck incorrectly, creating a double strike error. This means the coin has been stamped with the same design more than once, leaving it with a faint shadow of the original image. A rare find indeed. But that's not the only reason why some of these quarters are worth so much. Another reason these quarters are worth a small fortune is due to the misplaced mint mark error. Some coins were accidentally minted without a mint mark, meaning they were struck in a facility that wasn't supposed to produce them. If you find one of these, you could be holding onto a coin worth millions. Now, here's where things get exciting. How much is your 1983 Rhode Island quarter really worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to have a double strike or misplaced mint mark error, it can be worth anywhere between $500,000 to $1.6 million. Of course, the condition of the coin is key. A coin with higher grades will always fetch a higher price, so it's important to understand how coin grading works. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by organizations like the PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service. A mint state MS-65 coin, for example, is in near-perfect condition, and that will dramatically increase its value. But even a lower-grade coin with the error could still be worth thousands of dollars. So don't assume just because it's a bit worn out, it's not worth anything. If you're wondering how to spot these types of errors, here's a quick tip. Always check the reverse side of your quarters. Look for double strikes, blurry designs, or missing mint marks. And don't just stop at quarters. Check your dimes, nickels, and pennies too. The rarer the mistake, the more valuable the coin. Now that you know what to look for, how do you sell these rare coins for top dollar? It's actually easier than you might think. One of the first things you should do is research the coin's value online. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and even PCGS will give you a sense of what similar coins are selling for. But be careful about accepting low offers from random buyers. To get the best price, consider having your coin appraised by a professional. You can find coin dealers or numismatists who can authenticate your coin and help you determine its market value. And don't be afraid to reach out to larger auction houses if your coin is worth the big bucks. They'll know how to sell it for the highest possible price. So, to recap, if you have a 1983 Rhode Island quarter, be sure to check for double strike errors or misplaced mint marks. These small mistakes can make your quarter worth millions. With proper grading, authentication, and research, you can sell your rare coins for a huge profit. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found this helpful and want to see more tips on how to find rare coins and make money, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest coin discoveries. Have you found any rare coins recently? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing about your finds. And have you ever wondered if your old quarters are worth more than just pocket change? Well, you might be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. Today, we're going to talk about one very special coin that could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. We're diving into the 1984 Rhode Island $quarter coin. If you're in the age group of 30 to 70 and have old coins lying around, you might want to stick around for this one. Let's explore how this seemingly ordinary quarter could be worth an absolute fortune. First, let's set the stage with a little background. The 1984 Rhode Island quarter is part of the United States 50-state quarters program, which was launched in 1999 to honor each state in the Union. Each state received its own unique quarter, and these coins have become extremely collectible over the years. But one specific Rhode Island quarter from 1984 stands out because it was accidentally minted with a rare error that has collectors and investors buzzing. As you can see, the standard Rhode Island quarter features the state's iconic sailboat and ocean imagery. It's a beautiful coin, but here's where things get interesting. Due to a minting error, some 1984 quarters were struck with an engraving error on the reverse side. This error has made those specific coins incredibly valuable. So what exactly happened with the 1984 Rhode Island quarter? Well, some of the quarters were mistakenly struck with an extra mark that wasn't meant to be there. A minting flaw that has turned out to be very rare. This coin, with its unique error, is now being dubbed as the 1984 Rhode Island quarter with the extra die mark. It's this error that gives it its insane value. Now, why does this error make it worth up to $1.6 million? Well, in the world of coin collecting, errors like this one are incredibly sought after because they are so rare. The rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance and the story behind it, drives its price up. Okay, now let's talk about how you can tell if you have one of these rare 1984 Rhode Island quarters. Here's what you need to look for. The key is to look closely at the reverse side of the coin. In the case of the rare 1984 quarter, you'll notice a very subtle but noticeable die mark, kind of like a small extra line or bump in the design. It's hard to spot if you're not looking for it, so make sure to inspect your quarters carefully. You might even want to use a magnifying glass to get a closer look. Now, let's get to the fun part, the value. If you found one of these rare coins, you're in for a real treat. While the typical 1984 Rhode Island quarter is worth around 25 cents, a quarter with the minting error can fetch anywhere from a few $1,000s to over $1.6 million depending on its condition and rarity. Coins with a higher grade, or coins that have been well preserved, can sell for the highest prices. If you're lucky enough to have one in near-mint condition, it could be worth a small fortune. Coins that have been professionally graded and authenticated by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are often the ones that reach these record-breaking prices. So, what should you do if you think you've found one of these rare coins? First, make sure to handle it carefully. Don't clean it or try to polish it yourself. This can actually lower its value. Your next step is to get it professionally graded and authenticated by a trusted grading service. Once it's been graded, you can either sell it privately or through an auction house specializing in rare coins. It's always a good idea to consult with a coin expert or numismatist to get an accurate valuation of your coin. They can help you determine its worth and suggest the best place to sell it. Now, for those of you who are looking to sell your old coins for big money, it's important to know where to sell them. Some of the best places to sell rare coins include well-known online auction sites like eBay, specialized coin dealers, or even big coin auction houses like Heritage Auctions. These platforms give you access to a global audience of collectors, meaning you can often sell your rare coins for top dollar. If you prefer a more personal touch, some local coin shops may also be interested in purchasing rare pieces, though they may offer slightly lower prices compared to auction houses or direct buyers. So, if you've got old quarters or any other coins hanging around from your childhood or from your parents or grandparents, it might be time to take a closer look. You never know, you could be holding on to a coin that's worth a fortune. And remember, the 1984 Rhode Island quarter with the extra die mark could be worth as much as $1.6 million. So start checking your change. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on finding valuable coins. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to go dig through your old change now. Today, we've got a special story that might just make you take a second look at those old coins sitting in your drawers or piggy banks. We're talking about a rare gem from the United States Mint, the 1986 Rhode Island quarter, worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. But how did this quarter become worth so much? And could you have one hiding in your collection? Well, stick around to find out exactly what makes this coin so valuable and what you should be looking for if you think you might have one. To understand why the 1986 Rhode Island quarter is so valuable, let's first talk about the 50-state quarters program. This program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, was a major hit with collectors and the general public alike. Each year, the U.S. Mint released 5 new state quarters, each with a unique design representing one of the 50 states. By 1986, the Rhode Island quarter had already been in the works. However, it's the rare version of this coin that we're talking about today, the one that's worth $1.6 million. But what makes this specific coin so special? Let's dive deeper. So, you're probably wondering, what's so special about the 1986 Rhode Island quarter? Well, the short answer is a mistake. And not just any mistake. This coin was a part of an accidental rare minting error that has made it extremely valuable. The 1986 Rhode Island quarter was supposed to have a certain design, but due to an error during the minting process, a very limited number of these quarters ended up being released with a mistruck design. This error is what makes these quarters so sought after. Now, here's what you need to know if you think you might have one of these rare quarters. The main error to look for is a misaligned design. Specifically, the Rhode Island engraving, or the state outline, might be off-center or distorted. Additionally, there might be some extra markings or unusual features around the coin's edges. These all add to the rarity and ultimately the value. Keep in mind that not every 1986 Rhode Island quarter is worth $1 million. But if yours has one of these errors, you could be holding something incredible. Now let's talk about the million-dollar question. How much is this coin really worth? The 1986 Rhode Island quarter with this minting error recently sold at auction for an unbelievable $1.6 million. That's right, million with an M. The reason it fetched such a high price? The rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and the demand from collectors all played a part. Coins with errors, especially ones as rare as this, can be worth significantly more than their face value. And that's why coin collectors are willing to spend millions to get their hands on one of these mistruck coins. Now that you know how valuable this coin could be, how do you check if you have one? It's actually pretty simple. First, grab your 1986 Rhode Island quarters and inspect them carefully. Look for signs of a misalignment in the design. The lettering, especially Rhode Island, should be clear and properly aligned. If it's skewed or blurry, that could be a sign of an error. Also, pay attention to any unusual markings or extra features, like doubled engravings or strange patterns. If the coin seems to have some of these traits, it could very well be the error coin we're talking about. So, let's say you've checked your coin, and it looks like you have the elusive rare 1986 Rhode Island quarter. What's next? First, you'll want to get your coin authenticated and graded by a professional. There are a number of reputable grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, that can verify your coin's authenticity and assign it a grade based on its condition. Once graded, you can either hold onto it as part of your collection or, if you're looking to sell, there are numerous auction houses and coin dealers who specialize in rare coins. Just make sure you do your research and always work with trusted professionals. Who knows? That quarter you've been keeping in your pocket or stuck in a drawer could be worth far more than its face value. If you've got a 1986 Rhode Island quarter or any other rare coin, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. With the right error, you could be sitting on a real treasure. Thanks for watching, folks. If you learned something new today, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more tips on valuable coins. And as always, happy hunting. Today we're diving into an unbelievable story, the 1993 Rhode Island quarter that's worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around because if you have one of these quarters, it could make you a fortune. So, let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about the 1993 Rhode Island quarter itself. It was released as part of the 50-state quarters program by the U.S. Mint, a program that began in 1999 and ran through 2008. Each state was honored with a unique design featuring their state symbols. And Rhode Island's quarter featured the iconic image of a ship sailing through the waves. But hold on. There's something special about the 1993 Rhode Island quarter that makes it worth a lot more than face value. If you have one of these quarters, especially in the right condition, it could be worth far more than just 25 cents. In fact, some of these quarters are going for prices that'll blow your mind. And I'm talking about up to $1.30 million. So what makes this quarter so valuable? Well, it's all about a very specific error, the infamous double die error. Some of the 1993 Rhode Island quarters were struck with a misalignment in the die, causing the design to be imprinted twice. This error is known as a double die, and it's one of the most sought-after mistakes in the coin world. To spot one, you'll need to look closely. The most noticeable feature of the double die error is the doubling of the inscriptions, like the words Liberty and In God We Trust on the front of the coin. You'll see a clear doubling or shadowing effect where the text is thicker than usual. Now, before you go digging through your coin jar, remember that condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. A well-preserved Rhode Island quarter can fetch thousands of dollars, but a coin in poor condition, while still valuable, will not be worth as much. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they show little to no wear, are going to be worth a lot more. On the other hand, coins with scratches, dings, or discoloration will bring down the price. So, if you think you have one of these valuable quarters, make sure to handle it with care. Don't clean it, as that can reduce its value even further. Okay, so how do you know if your quarter is the real deal? You need to look for that double die error. The easiest way is to take a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and inspect the coin closely, especially around the inscriptions and the ship's design. Don't worry, if you're unsure, there are plenty of professional coin dealers and authenticators who can help. You can also get your coin graded by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. to determine its exact condition and value. Now, if you think you've got a rare, valuable coin on your hands, you might be wondering how to sell it. The good news is there are plenty of ways to cash in on your find. You can sell your coin to a reputable coin dealer, through auction houses, or even online platforms like eBay. But remember, you want to make sure you're selling through trustworthy channels. Don't rush into a sale, and always make sure the buyer is offering a fair price. If you're not familiar with selling rare coins, consider consulting a professional appraiser before making a deal. Over the years, people have found coins like these in their change, their old coin jars, or even in thrift store purchases. One lucky person recently sold their 1993 Rhode Island quarter for over $1.3 million. Can you imagine? That's a life-changing amount of money. So, before you toss any old coins aside, take a moment to check them out. You never know. The next coin you find could be your ticket to a fortune. If you learned something today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing coin discoveries and tips. If you have any rare coins, tell me about them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Today's video, we're going to talk about the Rhode Island 1995 state quarter. Yes, the one worth a mind-blowing $1.3 million. You heard that right, $1.3 million. But how can a simple quarter be worth so much? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to spot valuable coins in your collection. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of how to make money off these coins, let's take a quick look at the history of the Rhode Island 1995 state quarter. Back in 1995, the U.S. Mint released a series of quarters representing all 50 states. These state quarters were part of the 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. The Rhode Island quarter, released in 1995, features a very unique design. On one side, you've got the famous portrait of George Washington, and on the other, the reverse side showcases the state's sailing heritage with an image of a ship, a lighthouse, and a small sailing vessel. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Most Rhode Island 1995 state quarters are worth around 25 cents, just like any normal quarter. But, and this is the key part, there's a rare, special edition of this coin that can fetch up to a whopping $1.3 million at auction. So what makes this quarter so special? It all comes down to a minting error, specifically the 1995 Rhode Island quarter with a double die obverse. To explain the error, a double die obverse occurs when the die used to stamp the coin has been misaligned. This means the coin has been stamped twice, causing certain elements of the design to be duplicated or doubled. On the Rhode Island 1995 quarter with the double die error, you'll notice the words Liberty and In God We Trust are doubled. This happens when the coin is struck more than once, resulting in a noticeable shift in the details of the design. To make sure you've got a double die error, look carefully at the inscriptions and check for any signs of doubling, especially around the letters. This is a rare and valuable error, and it's the key to unlocking that $1.3 million jackpot. How do I find a 1995 Rhode Island quarter with this rare error? Well, first, grab a magnifying glass and inspect your coins carefully. Look for any doubling, especially in the word Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot this doubling, don't just assume it's the error. You'll want to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify whether it's the real deal. And once you have a certified double die error coin, you'll be looking at a value anywhere from a few $1,000s to that life-changing $1.3 million, depending on the condition and market demand. Now, you might be thinking, are there other coins out there like this? The good news is, yes, there are. The world of rare and valuable coins is vast. You've got other state quarters with minting errors, such as the 2004 Wisconsin quarter with extra leaves, or the 1982 Roosevelt dime with a minting error. These errors don't just apply to state quarters. Older coins like the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel and the 1969 Lincoln Penny have sold for millions at auctions as well. So once you find that rare coin, what do you do next? How do you sell it for the most money? The best way to sell your rare coins is by using trusted auction houses, online platforms, or even directly through a professional coin dealer. But before you sell, Get your coin authenticated and graded to ensure you're getting the best price. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers are known for selling high-value coins to serious collectors. Online platforms like eBay also allow you to reach a large audience of buyers, but you need to be careful and research before listing anything. To wrap up, here are a few quick tips for coin collectors looking to cash in on their collections. Keep them in protective holders to prevent wear and tear. The more you know, the better you'll be at spotting valuable coins. Coin values fluctuate, so it's important to know when is the right time to sell. Get your coins graded and authenticated to ensure they are valued correctly. Remember, finding a rare, valuable coin is exciting, but doing your research and getting professional help can make all the difference when it comes to turning your coins into cash. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've learned something new today about the Rhode Island 1995 State Quarter and how it could be worth $1.3 million. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your fellow coin collectors. You never know. Someone in your circle could be sitting on a treasure chest of their own. Today's video, we're going to dive deep into how you can spot this extremely rare coin, what makes it so valuable, and how you could potentially cash in on a coin like this. Whether you're in your 30s, 40s, or beyond, this is the kind of treasure that could change your life. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's get started. Let's set the stage first. Back in 1997, the U.S. Mint released a special state quarter series to honor each of the 50 states. It was part of a program that would last over a decade, creating a buzz in the world of coin collecting. Most of these quarters are worth face value, 25 cents. But what if I told you that one specific Rhode Island quarter could be worth a fortune? That's right, folks. We're talking about a rare, valuable find that's worth up to $1.3 million. Let's break it down. So, what makes the 1997 Rhode Island State Quarter so special? Well, in 1997, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a small number of quarters with a misplaced mint mark. You see, the Rhode Island quarter was supposed to have a P mint mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. But, in a very rare mistake, some of these coins were struck without the mint mark at all. A small number of these no mint mark quarters ended up in circulation, and they are worth a lot more than 25 cents. Here's where the magic happens. The Rhode Island quarter with no mint mark is incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for it. As of recent auctions and coin sales, these rare no mint mark coins have been selling for as much as $1.3 million. Can you imagine finding one of these in your pocket change or your old coin jar? That would be life-changing. But wait, how do you know if you've got one of these valuable quarters in your collection? Here's what you need to look out for. First, you want to look for the obvious. Does your quarter have a mint mark? The mint mark, either a P, D, or S, is usually located just beneath the word quarter on the reverse side of the coin. If your 1997 Rhode Island quarter has no mint mark at all, congratulations. You may be holding onto a rare and potentially extremely valuable coin. Now, this might sound a little bit confusing, so let me clarify. There are a lot of fake quarters out there, so it's important to know what you're looking at. If you find a 1997 Rhode Island quarter with no mint mark, make sure it's genuine. The best way to authenticate your coin is by visiting a professional coin dealer or appraiser. They can check the authenticity and help you determine its real value. Always be cautious of potential forgeries. Now, let's talk about the next question. What do you do if you find one of these valuable coins? Selling rare coins can be tricky, but don't worry. There are a few ways you can cash in on your treasure. The first option is to visit a local coin dealer or a reputable numismatic expert. They'll be able to give you an appraisal and offer you a fair price. But if you're aiming to get top dollar, you may want to try selling your coin at an auction. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Stacksbowers specialize in rare coin auctions. And that's where collectors from around the world go to bid on these highly sought-after coins. Remember, timing is key. Some coins can sell for big money quickly, but others might take time to find the right buyer. It's all about knowing the market and being patient. Now, you might be thinking, how do I find rare coins like this in the first place? Well, keep your eyes peeled when you're going through your spare change, and don't forget to check your old coin collections. Sometimes, The most valuable coins are the ones that have been sitting around in your house for years, just waiting to be discovered. Coin collecting can be an exciting and rewarding hobby. Whether you're just starting out or have been collecting for years, there's always the chance that one of your coins could turn out to be worth far more than you ever imagined. So, next time you find an old quarter in your pocket, take a closer look. You never know when you might discover a hidden treasure. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this video has inspired you to start looking at your old coins with a new perspective. If you think you've found a rare coin, or if you've already sold one, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks to help you uncover hidden gems in the world of coin collecting. Happy hunting! And remember, sometimes treasure is just a quarter away. Today's video is something you won't want to miss. Today, we're going to talk about a rare coin that could be worth up to $1.8 million. The 1998 Rhode Island State Quarter Dollar. That's right, a quarter from 1998 might be sitting in your pocket or your coin jar, and it could make you a lot of money. Stick around to find out why this particular quarter is so valuable and how you can cash in on rare coins like this one. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about why the 1998 Rhode Island quarter is so special. This coin was released as part of the 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999, but the design was finalized in 1998. It was meant to honor the state of Rhode Island, the smallest state in the United States, with an image of the Rhode Island State House and the famous sailing ship, the Prudence. The quarter was struck in large quantities, so at first glance, it seems like just another ordinary coin. However, here's the kicker. Some of these quarters have a major flaw that makes them incredibly valuable. The 1998 Rhode Island quarter with a double die error is what collectors are going crazy for. This error happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, causing the coin's design to be imprinted twice. This leads to a double strike, effect that's very noticeable. You'll notice that on a double die error, the features of the coin's design appear to be slightly stacked on top of each other. The most obvious place to see this is around the letters, numbers, and even the intricate details of the ship and state house. If you have a 1998 Rhode Island quarter with this error, you could be looking at a small fortune. Now, let's talk about the value. A regular 1998 Rhode Island quarter is worth just 25 cents, but when you come across the rare double die error, the value skyrockets. Depending on its condition, a well-preserved 1998 double die error Rhode Island quarter can be worth anywhere from hundreds to over $1 million. That's right, $1.8 million for a single coin if you happen to find the perfect specimen. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I've got one of these rare coins? Well, here are some tips. First, look at the obverse side of the coin, the side with George Washington's portrait. Check for any doubling or blurring around the letters and numbers. If you see a clear doubling, you've got a potential winner. You'll also want to check the reverse side, especially around the ship and the state house. The error will be very visible if you have the right one, so don't skip this step. And if you're not sure about the condition of your coin or whether it's genuine, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded. Speaking of professional grading, a well-graded coin can significantly increase its value. Grading services like PCGS or NGC are widely respected in the coin community and will assign a grade to your coin based on its condition. Everything from wear, scratches, and discoloration to how well the design is imprinted. A quarter in mint condition could fetch much more than one with significant wear, so it's worth having it graded by an expert. You might be wondering, where do I even find a 1998 Rhode Island double die error coin? Well, you might not find them just lying around, but they are out there. Many collectors come across these coins at estate sales, garage sales, or while going through old coin jars from relatives. So, if you've got a collection of old coins lying around, it's time to take a closer look. If you do find one of these rare quarters, the next step is to sell it for a profit. There are many ways to sell coins, from auction websites like eBay to professional dealers and auctions. But make sure you've done your research and know the value of your coin before selling it so you can get the best possible price. For those of you who are 30 to 70 years old and are looking to cash in on your old coins, now is the perfect time to start going through your collection. Who knows? You could have a valuable coin sitting around that's just waiting for the right buyer. And if you're new to coin collecting, Keep in mind that it's not all about finding that one-in-a-million rare coin. Coins in great condition and with unique features can still be worth a lot of money. So, what are you waiting for? If you're holding on to old coins, it's time to start looking for those hidden treasures. And if you're just getting started, remember, it's a fun hobby, and you never know what might turn up. Who knows, you could have your very own 1998 Rhode Island double-die error quarter, worth a fortune waiting to be found. Thanks for watching today's video. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and rare finds. And, as always, happy hunting!